I've been watching The Bear recently, so I got a hankering to make an omelette. So we've got 3 eggs going in. Nice medium-sized eggs. 3 eggs is probably, I'd say, the perfect amount for a portion. And just lightly whip them. So what you're looking for here is the white and the yolk to be completely amalgamated. Like scrambled eggs and stuff, I actually prefer it when they're not, because you get a sort of variety of textures. But an omelette is a little bit more of a, I guess, a bit more of a puristic thing. So you want a nice consistent egg the whole way. This also gets a tiny little bit of air into the mix as well, so just taking your fork and sort of lifting them over, almost folding them and whisking them at the same time. A good amount of unsalted butter. Slightly controversially, I season my eggs. There's a big debate in the cooking world caused by a guy, Harold McGee, on the Science of Cooking and Food, about how salting eggs often basically coats the protein cells, stops them from cooking, and that's why you get watery eggs. The one thing I can say is I've made a lot of omelettes, and fairly consistently, it's nice to have seasoning all the way through the omelette. If you're using like cheese or even like bacon on there, which is going to season the mix, then you don't need to worry too much about it. So what you're doing now, so with the butter, is we don't want it to be foaming at all. We want it to, you still can see the milk solids, and it's just literally just dissolved. You see it's going to start to cook pretty much straight away. And the first stage of an omelette is basically similar to making scrambled eggs. But yeah, so what we've got is, you can see here, you've got a really low flame, but it's the lowest it can go, and it's actually still quite high. So in a domestic, you can actually get probably even more. Well, you can see it's you know, it's barely cooking. The thing is, I think they used to do an omelette challenge on Saturday Kitchen, but the best thing I've ever seen is where Thomas Keller came on from America, and he said he had to do the omelette challenge in a certain amount of time, and he refused to do it quickly, and it took something like 5.5 minutes, and at the end, like a proper gangster, he pulled out a black truffle and grated it all over the top. I just thought that was fucking legendary. So just pull in the outside, which is where it's going to start to cook first, into the middle. And you can see I'm just moving the pan slightly, because this is a good way of seeing how evenly the eggs are cooking. And don't forget the bottoms as well. And then we want to spread around this sort of scrambled mixture nicely. So you can see this part of the pan is a lot hotter. Just lightly moving this part around now instead. And then that's basically it for the moving of the eggs, really. It's one of those things, omelettes. It's I think I remember reading in a book, like, where they can always a chef can always potentially ask you when you're coming into your trial shift to make an omelette for them, to see what your ability is like. I think it's one of those things. It's like a real. You have to have a real appreciation for taking things slowly, taking time to do things, and just an understanding of your ingredient. Now, some French people will probably take that off now, but I think I like mine just slightly more cooked than that. But you can see, like, basically the egg on the bottom has cooked, and it's still released slightly from the pan. So these are quite good pans, so they're non-stick. And then you can actually just take it off now. So a little bit more salt now. I add my pepper now as well. And then the chives all the way through. Sometimes it can be a tad bland, I find, omelette, so you've really got to pay attention to what's inside the actual omelette. Now at this stage, if you wanted to add Comté or Gruyere or something like that, it'd be absolutely delicious. So you can see just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more heat. And what we're going to do, just slightly fold it over from that side, and then fold it over this side, and then just continue to cook just for a little second more. And this is exactly how I like my omelettes, just a tiny little bit gooey in the middle. Add a tiny, tiny touch more butter. And just glaze it up. Just that added little bit of luxury. So that's still cooking. That's still cooking inside. Boom. See all these viral things at the moment. It's like made this meal with just 3 ingredients. Like this is just one meal made with a couple of chives, salt and pepper, but it is really just a celebration of butter and eggs.